The Way Back is a 2020 American sports drama directed by Gavin O'Connor and written by Brad Ingsley. Starring Ben Affleck, the film follows an alcoholic construction worker who's recruited to become head coach of the basketball team at the high school he used to attend. Way Back is a solid film, although I will say the film tends to focus much more on Jack Cunningham and his struggles versus the team in the film. Although the film tends to kind of intersect both both their arcs, so it's not really much of an issue. But at the same time, the film tends to focus much more on Ben Affleck's character than the team itself. So while there is sports in the film, it tends to focus more on the dramatic arc of Jack Cunningham and his struggles with addiction. But I will say that the film benefits from this overall solid performance of Ben Affleck and how much heart and soul that Ben Affleck gives to his performance as as an alcoholic construction worker. You absolutely believe that he is struggling with addiction because in many ways it does mirror what Ben Affleck has gone through and has been going through in his personal life with alcoholism. So in a way, it's almost like life imitating art, or art imitating life, which however you want to say it. So it was very interesting to see how this film kind of was almost like a mirror image of what Ben Affleck has been living with and going through and seeing it on screen, because you really did believe it. And it really came across as very believable. And I've seen some films that try to portray alcoholism and it doesn't really come across as believable. Yet this film manages to portray alcoholism and the effects that alcoholism has on one's personal life and professional life, and those in one's in on an addict's life in such a realistic way that I was like, wow. I'm like, I was like, they really hit it on the nose, because I've known several addicts in life, sadly, that have struggled with alcoholism, that have damaged their relationships and just also damaged their lives, unknowingly thinking that nothing was going to happen. And this film really hit it perfectly with the arc of Jack Cunningham and how his arc goes from a place of darkness and slowly builds this redemption arc, and especially at the end, where you see him coming to terms with a lot of the things that he's been struggling with, which led him to a road to addiction. The sports side, I felt, while it was solid, I felt at times window dressing, and it really didn't add a lot of weight to the story. I've seen better films execute the sports aspect in a sports drama much better. And that's not to say that the characters on the team and the actors weren't bad, but to me, none of them really stood out. And that may have to do with how the script and the editing the edit was done. But at the same time, I really didn't connect with any of the other characters, even though they've had maybe some little bit of screen time or a little character development, but not much. The film tends to tries to make you connect more on Jack versus the team. While it does try to get you to rally behind the team, that's more through proxy of Jack Cunningham through his interactions with the team. It's not so much you learning more about the team when they're just by themselves. It's more or less you get the interactions more so when they're with Jack. Overall, The Way Back is a solid film carried by Ben Affleck's great performance. But its script is very by the numbers, and its supporting cast is barely worth mentioning because I really can't remember a performance that really stood out from the cast. And that's probably due to the script's by the numbers development. And as I said, Ben Affleck carried that film, and that's how great of an actor he is. Hey everyone, hope you liked this review. Hit the like and subscribe button, and please comment down below.